Hey guys, welcome back to The Last Stand Media. This is Tom Macdonald, The System. Like and subscribe, comment down below for other videos you want to see that are like this.
Welcome to the world, baby boy. I'll paint you red and white and blue. The indoctrination starts as soon as you come out the womb. Pretty quick, we'll make you stupid with curriculums at school. And if the classroom doesn't do the trick, we'll make you watch the news. Pick your team, right or left, take the red pill or the blue. You can vote, but even if you win, still everyone will lose. Don't forget to buy designer because Gucci makes you cool. We prioritize material belongings over truth. Get a job that you can't stand so you can buy some cans of food. Go overseas and die for freedom. There's some oil we can use. Our democracy exists so that you think that you can choose. But our algorithms make you do what we want you to do. What's the problem? Your depressed society has you confused. We got medication for you that you'll probably abuse. Go get married to a lady who also don't have a clue, and pump out a few babies that are just the same as you. Welcome to the system.
Oh my God. Is he married?
Nova, the girl that did
no, Tom.
Yeah, Nova, the girl that did the videos and the
Yeah.
one that was singing in church.
Yeah.
That's his girlfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm thinking I would hate to get in an argument with him. And so I imagine when if he gets hot under the collar, which I can see happening, is so she probably just walks away for a while. I'll come back later. Yeah. He's because he doesn't mince words whatsoever. And it's like, you know, in the 60s and 70s when Vietnam was going on and all the protest songs, Dylan and all them, and were coming out singing all these anti-war songs and protest songs. And it's funny because when they sang, some of them were a little sharp, but they were trying to send a message, obviously. And his message is like getting hit by a bus. Yeah, it's awesome. I really like it. I like the truth.
What do you think about the whole him looking down at just a baby and telling him basically this is what your entire life is going to be?
Yeah, I think that part of it is almost hopeless, and but the reality is if we don't know the truth, then how do we deal with it?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if we're fed, because he's singing about being fed lies.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying.
Yeah,
that they're being fed lies, and to having our eyes open is, you know, like on the Matrix, the movie. You know, he takes the red pill or the blue pill. I forgot which one did which, but once the eyes are open, is you know, and sometimes they're wishing they could not go, they could go back.
Right.
You know, and I think that's kind of his message, and it's very symbolic as being pointed to the child. Right early on. This is what's coming.
And it's you know, what's funny is that I mean I also kind of think that, you know, it being this interaction to the child is, and it's the system, right? The video's name is The System. They're openly talk after your children. They say it, and that is the system. So, you know, and I think that there's some play there that's happening also within the video.
Absolutely, I agree. You know, and you see it today in the school system, public school, and
exactly.
Even the toy world. All of it is, you just see it that they're really after the kids, because if they get the kids, then you've got generational problems.
Generational control.
Teaching them, yeah. I mean, you think if all the adults woke up today and what was going on is we've got a generation or two of children that in fact are coming up, were brought up into some malarkey untruths, some unrealistic expectations for life, and when you've taught them that, and it's like when parents teach their kids that Santa Claus, right? There's the Santa Claus, and then at some point they go, oh, we got to tell them the truth. You know, there's no Santa Claus, and right, and then there's that dilemma of telling the truth about Santa Claus. Well, what do you lie about it in the beginning for?
Right. Well, exactly.
Right, and I think he's just telling them there's no Santa Claus.
So this is Tom's coming out as there's no Santa Claus.
Yeah. You might make one. If anybody could, I think it would be him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Here we go.
about a few babies that are just the same as you. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the world, baby girl. I'll paint you pink if that's okay. We'll encourage self-destruction through the music that you play. We divided all the men by trying politics and race, and honestly, it's working awesome, so for you, we'll do the same. Never teaching you to love yourself, inject you full of hate, objectify your sexuality, then blame you for the rape, and weaponize the differences that make our men and women great. Then just to screw with you, erase the genders. Everyone's the same. We'll empower you with rights to vote and fight for equal pay, then have the men turn into women and you'll fight for them again. But you thought you had it figured out, but everything has changed. Welcome to the system. Please enjoy your stay. Here's a Bible and a bottle of the cheapest booze we make. Find a man who can take care of you to fill the holes we made. Buy a house and settle down, fulfill your duty, procreate, and make a couple babies who will also do the same. Welcome to the system.
Wow. 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 You know, I when I was a child and young adult, I'll say, it's always made me curious as how Germany fell under the spell of Hitler. Because he was elected chancellor. How'd that happen? Because there were people not unlike Americans, if you will, and businesses, and they're pretty much, they watch their clocks a lot, but in reality, they were a society not all that far from America, and we know they had the financial issues and stuff. But how would they elect somebody like that and then allow him to continue on in power? And that always perplexed me is how people could allow that to happen. And and he's singing about that system because basically, that's that system. He could transport. He's got American flag on the ski mask. That could have been in the 40s or 30s. It could have been, the swastika. And this is why we can't blindly follow a government. That's we're to be educated. That's why we need an education system, one that truly educates in truth. That's why we need to know the truth. And when we don't even know if we're a republic or a democracy anymore, when we're truly formed in the Constitution, Article 4, Section 4 is a republic. And guaranteed, the several states were guaranteed a Republican form of government. Is if we don't know what our rights are, and is how do we stand for them? And this is why the system that he's talking about is they just manipulate us. In the 60s, it was the sexual revolution, right? Women. I remember they used to have a poster of a gal, might have been late 60s, early 70s, standing at a urinal, right? Because she wanted to be equal, right? So she's standing up in a man's bathroom at a urinal taking a pee, right? That was what she was supposed to be doing. And it was all about women's rights. Now, well, since they don't know where to go with that, what have they got? They've got, well, a man can be a woman can be a man, men can play on women's sports teams, and now they're Xing out the women because the physiques are so much different, is that the women can't compete against the man in those particular sports, so now they lose the chance of being number one in their field. And what happens is we allow that to happen, and because as he's saying, the system, which is run by the establishment, if you will. Yeah. And they just manipulate us. The drugs he's talking about, and he's 100% really right on those issues. We've just got to be smarter and have integrity and be truthful to our family and our friends, and not to be afraid to speak the truth. Yep. Because that's the minute you're afraid to speak the truth, which I've been warned a number of times, Jerry, you better watch out what you're saying. You're going to get yourself in trouble again. But you don't have freedom of speech if you can't use it. Correct. You're not a free citizen. You're not a free human being if you can't speak the truth. Right. And if you're wrong, somebody will come by maybe and correct you, because I always pray that happens. Hey, well, if I'm off base here, somebody correct me, but prove it to me that I'm wrong. Don't just say you're wrong and you're some kind of curse word or whatever you are. When I was in the Marine Corps, it's called everything under the sun, so that doesn't really have much effect on me. But show me that I'm wrong. Right. Let's have a dialogue. Let's have an honest dialogue. And we don't have to hate each other because of our differences of opinion. Let's see if we can convince one another where we're right and where we're wrong. Yeah. So, right. And he does a pretty powerful job. Here we go.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom, fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom, fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the world, everybody. I'ma paint you black and white. I'ma make you hate each other so that everyone will fight. I'ma give you our religion, let the righteous find the light. But I will also give you science to oppose the word of Christ. And I'ma give you borders, they're imaginary lines. If you cross them, go to war and win when everybody dies. And I'ma give you money that you'll value more than life. And let the 1% have everything while you fight to survive. And then I'll give you politics, I'll call it left and right. And while you divide yourselves, I will conquer both the sides. Can't you see? I'm the system, my whole purpose is divide. What you choose will never matter because everything is mine. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom, fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom, fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom, fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.
Wow. You know, I mean, he could be typecast as Satan in this one, and you know, is that system satanic, and is the American people have been fed a lie on tolerance, and even through the churches, they've been fed a lie that they're to tolerate, you know, be tolerant of others, right? Don't judge, you know, which is absolutely, for one, for those who believe in God, goes completely in defiance of his teachings. And because if you can't judge, then how do you know right from wrong?
Right.
How do you, what do you just allow wrong to prosper? And you let a lie stand? You can't judge if somebody's in harm's way or if somebody's lying or doing something wrong. It's absolute, it's ludicrous. But what happens is that when we fall for that lie and go, well, I can't judge, you know, we're not to judge anything, which is not true anyways, because they're judging anyways. And they're maybe not they don't want you to judge them on that point. It's because the guilty of doing evil deeds don't want to be judged. So, well, you can't judge. So don't, you know, you can't, who are you to judge? You know, right? And it's imperative that we judge and that we don't tolerate evil. Tolerance of evil is wrong. I mean, there's a right and wrong. I mean, there's a cold and a hot, right? And who likes lukewarm food, right? Some of us meant to be served cold, some of us meant to be served hot. And our society right now has been preached tolerance from the pews of the churches, from through the schools, tolerate this, tolerate that. Look where it's gotten us when you think about it. And then when you watch the extreme left, if you will, the Marxist left, is how tolerant are they?
Right. No, I mean, there's not a tolerant bone in their body.
No.
Once they got what they want.
The insurrectionists on January 6th, you know, and you know, it's just a lie. And then they use it against us. But if we're not smart enough and convicted enough in our belief system to be able to stand up for it, well, we've got nothing.
Yep.
And we're gonna get our clocks cleaned. I was actually at a voting booth several years ago, not at the booth, but in line outside holding signs for candidates. And I was standing next to a guy who's a communist, says he's a communist, right? And I've got the Constitution. I said, "Oh, I got a question for you. What are you doing here then?"
Right.
Because you don't believe in this. What are you doing here? You're a hypocrite. Right? Here you are. You're going into working in a Republican form of government right now, in that machine right now. And what are you doing? You know, that's the communism doesn't support the freedom to vote. Why don't you just lead by example and go home? Not vote. You know, we've got to be bold.
Yeah.
And let people know when they're doing something wrong. You wouldn't let somebody step out in front of a bus and not warn them. You know, you're going to judge that they're getting in harm's way. I'm sure people when he was doing his other song about alcoholism, I said he had plenty of people telling him or close to him, "Hey, man, you got to slow down the drink, you got to stop drinking," or whatever. You know, of course he's ignoring them, but it's not like the ones who are telling him, "Hey, just have another drink," you know, it'll be, you know, we'll forget about this tomorrow. well, who's your friend? The one who
Right.
told you the truth,
Right.
right? And like I said before, is Jesus told us, right, the truth shall set us free, and we've got to be unashamedly supportive of the truth. And
Mm-hmm.
matter of fact, the Holy Spirit is called the Spirit of Truth. And if we don't have the truth, we've got nothing. So we've got no way to. We're floundering. We've got no basis to form sound opinions on anything. And I got to tell you, if I was just I hated rap and I want nothing to do with rap, I'd never listen to him. I go, I've never listened to that stuff, right? And look what I'd be missing. I mean, and is it upsetting at times? Some of the way he does it, yeah, but it's not upsetting in a way that it's not true.
Right. Right.
It's a reality
the
check.
content, the truth of the content is what's upsetting, because you're hearing it.
It's true.
It's true. Right. You don't want what he's saying to be true. We all know it's true. He's saying it in a medium in which paints a very colorful picture.
Yeah. Well, and it's not pretty.
Correct.
Right? You can dress it up all you want. I mean, outside of Auschwitz in World War II in Poland, is they had it said "work to live." I think was a sign on the gate, made in the wrought iron on there. And they were in there. They were murdering half the people who came through right away, and then they worked most of the rest of them to death in gas chambers. But it said right. It said "work to live." Right, and the truth, had they known, they probably wouldn't have been so willing to get on those boxcars. And I asked this question of a number of people is during World War II, what happened is when Hitler overtook the people that he overtook and the Jews in Germany and such, is he let them stay in their homes for a while, let them have their businesses for a while until he got his position secured. Then he started taking their businesses away. They couldn't have a business, couldn't work. Yeah. So now they're stuck in their houses. So then he took their money away from them. Then he decided, well, now we're going to take their homes, but he let them take their suitcases with them, right? They took their suitcases and they hid whatever best they thought they could hide on them, if they had jewels or money or whatever. And they probably took clothes that they thought, you see them women walking in high heels, right? And they're getting ready to get in the back of a truck with a bunch of other Jews going to a train station to go to a concentration camp. But they don't want to face the fact that's what's happening, even though a bunch of them have heard it. Some of them had, but most of them have heard something really bad was going on. So what do? He lets them take the suitcase for security, right? You don't need a suitcase unless you bring one. If they're going to take you out and kill you. So take your suitcase, right? And get you on the suitcase, and then they get them on the train. They take the suitcases away and they march them into the boxcars, lock them up, and transport them over to the camps. Shave their heads or kill them and whatever, or torture them, whatever else it was they were doing, is horrific. Because the people, if they knew what the end result of what their government, was going to do, they would have stood up to it.
Right.
So they let them incrementally. They started stripping things away a little bit, a little more tolerable. That's why our declaration says is we're to suffer. I think the sufferable is or wrongdoing or something, or corruption or government. I forgot exactly how it's put. As long as it's sufferable, and so we'll let them go. We'll give them lead, and but we shouldn't give them lead to get us into a boxcar.
Correct.
And we've got to be able to stand.
And that would end this one, guys. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Comment down below for more reactions of this kind. Talk to you guys later.